What's up, Team USA? Today we're going to talk about how to train for power striking and what that looks like. Before you start your workout, you should always warm up. There's a litany of band exercises you can do. Also, I would recommend getting a Gada mace and warming up with a Gada mace. You can set it for 30-second intervals and do them for like 10 intervals, or just do 100 reps. You can look at two-handed Gada maces like this, or one-handed Gada mace like this, depending on what kind of striking you're doing. I obviously use a two-handed one if you like two-handed weapons, one-handed if you like one-handed striking. All right, so we're gonna go over a little drill I like to do. I call it 3 good ones. So you're gonna get it to about a timer. You're gonna set it for 30 seconds on, 15 seconds off for 10 to 12 intervals, and that makes a set. Do 2, 3, 4 sets. It doesn't really matter. But most we're gonna talk about how to strike, at least how I strike. And what I think a lot of people get wrong about it, and why they should probably actually use real weapons and not maces or short axes. So if you use a falchion, this is perfect for you. If you like a longer axe, this is perfect for you too. My axe is about this long, maybe a little bit less. For the purposes of doing this drill, I'm going to use this nylon rod. You can also use rattan, that feels pretty good. You can use your hitting bag, you can use your Pell, whatever you're going to do. So the movement that I'm going to use is basically a whipping motion. Most people tend to do this, which offers them no real power. They don't use their hips, they don't use their shoulders, they don't use the snap of the weapon to really build mechanics. So I'm not going to go too deep into mechanics, I'm just going to show you what I do. So you're going to stand in 1 foot off from one another. You can stand square if you like, you can stand in your stance however you like. In combat, there's going to be different positions you can find yourself in, especially where you're looking to throw. But basically I look at a shin shot or just below the knee here on my Pell. I'll rotate the Pell. I look at a bicep or forearm shot that's basically vertical. And then I look at a 45-degree shot that targets maybe the helmet or a shoulder gap or something like that. And it's going to be about 45 degrees in this way. And I basically am going to throw 3 good shots with as much high quality power as I can get. And then the second set of intervals, I'll do acuity or accuracy. But basically the movement I'm here going to do is basically looks like a pitch, or it looks like a throwing motion. That's the thing that people often forget about the most, or they just don't do. So this throwing motion, basically I'm going to lower my center of gravity a little bit, get my knees and my hips going. I'm going to start this movement from basically a pretty conservative position here. I don't need to do this huge motion. If you're new, start by doing this exaggerated motion. If you're newer or if you're more advanced, try to get this, cultivate more power through a shorter distance. You don't really need to do this movement. You can start from here and learn to drive and dump the shot very quickly. So anyway, this whipping motion, I'm going to drive from my hips, rotating my shoulders. My scapula is relaxed. I'm projecting my shoulder forward with my hips and my shoulders, projecting my arm forward. My arm does not necessarily extend fully. If you extend in the middle of this motion, you're going to lengthen the lever and slow down the shot. And what I really want to do is I want to get speed on this. And then the power basically comes through that in the weight of the object. But basically, if I extend my arm fully away from my torso, especially you see how far my humerus moves, the more that extends, the slower the shot's going to be. I basically want to keep this kind of tucked. I don't have tension on my elbow because then I won't have any swing. Basically, I'll kind of hinder the movement, and it'll end up looking like a long lever where I'm basically doing this, which doesn't have as much power as having liveliness to your shoulder and getting that to swing through like I'm throwing. This almost looks like a side pitch, or it looks like a forehand shot in tennis, where I'm actually swinging my arm, and then basically as this follows through, I snap my wrist a little bit, extending my wrist ever so slightly. This is going to be limited to the range of your gauntlets, or the bell of your gauntlet. you may not be able to extend it that much. The shorter your bell is, the more you'll be able to extend it. But this last extension of the hand basically delivers all the force into the target. So as I'm swinging, this last little bit here is what is going to straighten the shot to dump all the force into it. Now, this is neon green, which is great. As I'm doing this, I want to look at also hit angle. I'm not just hitting this as hard as I can like this. I actually want to land perpendicular to the area I'm landing in. So if I'm swinging at someone's shin, right, I actually want to land not exactly like this. This is great, but I do want to land directly into the target. If it is angled in any such way, it's going to slip down and hit them in the foot. Or if you're hitting them in the crease, it's going to slip down and hit them in the back of the knee, sometimes. So we really want this to be square onto the target. So I've already warmed up a little bit. We'll show you what 3 good ones look like. I'll go for 3 shin shots and just kind of show you what I'm looking for here. So if I approach, my stance is a little squared. I'm going to turn my foot in a little bit. That way the weight can drive into the shot. If my foot is square, I'll stop preemptively, and I won't get all the force delivered to the target. So we're sitting here like this. I'm going to come up. I'm going to lean my torso a little bit. Again, my arm's going to swing. And we're going to land 3 good ones. So, and that whipping motion is really what I want to look for as I'm doing this in this 30-second interval. So there's 3 good ones. I'm going to reset. I'm now going to attack this bracer, so we have a bracer. And then we can look at the shoulder, the clavicle. And it looks like that. And in this 30-second interval, you want high quality, and you can mix up where you're throwing, because realistically, you are going to mix up the areas you're hitting based on what is advantageous to you. So 30 seconds on, 15 off, 10 to 12 rounds. That's 1 set. You can mix up and do as many sets as you like. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks.